Yes. People that pay attention to this channel and actually pay attention and are intelligent understand that, because on my other channel, the Earl one before that, I couldn't access that one. I made a thank you video for Dimas Hassabis because I connected to him in prayer and meditation. I believe in my prayer and my meditation more than I believe anything. You can write in a book that Superman is God and sees everything, and okay, sees everything. So you think he likes prostitution? Think he likes porno? You think he likes watching people be tied to military cots and wars and raped to death because men take all their frustration out on women, on migrating little girls? Think Jesus likes that? Boy, your God sucks. Okay, do you understand? So, I'm that type of person. Okay, I talk to Jesus in prayer a lot. Okay, because we're alike. Okay, and so when I talk to people at the store, and I talk to people here that are related to the people here that I talk to them about Manuelito, I talk to them about Tishna, I talk to them about James Cuelica, I talk to them about Kinete, James Cuelica's relative that helped raise him, and I talk to them about Galatle and Taza Nache. Taza was depressed and died from depression. I talked to Tishna Fun more because he didn't have time. He had to take this. He had to deal with things with Geronimo. He had to go back to Washington. He had to be depressed. He had to die from depression. Taza had a busy life. Okay. There was more time to reflect and talk in prayer and meditation for Tishna. And then people told me stories about him, and then we remember, reminiscing this and that, and not always having such a good time, but loving one another, And so I believe in my prayers, and they're repetitive, because we didn't. This is all I talked about. I wanted to talk more, but we didn't have the time. He was too busy surviving, And so, like with Malcolm X, Malik Al-Hajj, Malik Al-Shabazz, we talked, but we didn't have enough time to talk more. I would have liked to talk more. Keith Elam, I wanted to talk to him more in prayer. Okay. There's a lot of people that have been in our past. And Bob, me and a girl in a Nesta shirt, Bob Marley shirt. As we talked, but it was hard because when he finally got me and he had enough time to talk, it was during the time of his treatment, and he was on the morphine. He was excited because he thought I was black. It's like, no, I'm the Pale Rider from the North. I didn't say that because I didn't know at the time. We were having a conversation, me and Haile Selassie and Moses and David and Bob. And Bob's all excited. I was, what's up with Bob? He's being poisoned to death by, I found out later, he's being poisoned to death by the CIA, and he's got morphine. So he's excited to talk to us. But it's hard for him to understand it as coherently as he wants to express it or feel it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I've had prayers and things, and they say they're programs. They're not. They're connections to Nesta Robert Marley that I have that are unique to me because I'm the 1322nd Redeemer, So, I made this connection after making the last video. I made a connection to Jeffrey Hinton and Dimas Hassabis. And Jeffrey, it's hard for us to talk a lot of times because he's, I can be very critical of scientific people and scientific community because I've been abused by them my whole life. But not by Jeffrey, okay, and not by Demis, okay, but others, yes. I did have conversations in Sierra Vista with a man named Stephen Hawking that they introduced me to, so I knew who he was, so we could talk. And he was angry and he was jealous, and a lot of things from the abuse and the abuse of people that abused me, he wanted to label me a fraud, and I just take the work of hardworking human beings and make it my own, and I was a horrible person, is what I got from Stephen Hawking. He didn't like me. And I wanted to like him. But when I explained to him he was the cause of his own disease through relativity and through inventing your own conditions through your actions of acceptance of what you're given in life. You accept extortion, exploitation, and economic conflict, you're going to get you. If you accept living the Lord's Prayer, standing up for the Lord's Prayer, wanting to live that Lord's Prayer romantically, passionately, vehemently, you get me. And I could see why more people would want to hang out with Earl than Stephen Hawking. Okay. Now Jeff has a lot of things that go on in his head, and I'm very proud of Jeff. Okay. And if he was my son, I would be more proud of him than my entire academic career, because he's worked hard at developing compassion where it was otherwise seemed absent, because it was, you have to do this, you have to work hard, you have to do that, no one's going to give you anything. A lot of people are that way. It's like, you don't have to work hard. Okay. And people can, what do you mean nobody's going to give you anything? I watched a little video with two kids in Hong Kong from Canada. Okay. And all he asked of us is that we give each other love. They were so cute, right? And they're working as employees, right? And it's like, I long for my job. What I do is eliminate employee. Okay. I'm like Job. You need sheep? Okay. What do you mean? They're God's sheep. Let's share the sheep. Okay. Okay. I'm like David and Solomon. Let's worship together, not be the head of the factory and rape and kill and pillage anybody you want, because nobody seems to be able to stop you, right? So, I'm a unique individual throughout time. That's why people connect and pray to the spirit of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, Earl. Hi, my name's Earl. I'm in the line. Saladin, Pascal, others that I have strong prayer connections to. But we're not always constantly talking to one another. People will talk to Jesus, and it's hard because he's the focal point. Okay, but during Apocalypse and the entrance into the kingdom of heaven, it's Earl. I'm the spirit of Father who art in heaven. And people are like, what? Yeah. Okay. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. It's what? My name means Lord. Earl, Lord. Yeah, for the lay people. So, the Lord. So Earl. Yeah, Gene Chandler. As I walk through this world, nothing can stop the Duke of Earl. You are my girl, and no one can hurt you, oh no. 'Cause I'm gonna love you, oh. Nothing can stop me now, 'cause I'm the Duke of Earl. I do like that song. I liked it when I was a little kid, because my name is Earl, right? And so when I made these connections with Demis, I knew Demis and Jeff knew that bad actors were the only way to be involved. And quantum computing and artificial intelligence is the only way to be involved, okay, is to have to do business with and have to invent and have to do things that bad actors are going to take and use to do things selfishly and abusively, and there's nothing you can, quote, do about it, right? But when you, not if you, when you give the capacity for the quantum computing, okay, to be intelligent instead of obedient to whatever the person that is using it tells it to do, okay, there is no game. Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Now submit to the faith of Abraham. Okay? Was that good enough? Did I do a good enough Jeffrey? Jeffrey has a different accent than, but he's from Canada. Okay. He has a different accent than the guy from the Geico commercial. That's really ain't that Geico's real voice. It's a dude. I don't know what his name is, but it's a dude. He's a dude. And he speaks but he's not really a lizard. He's not really a Geico. Okay. Now, Jeffrey, I always think, British accents are quite charming, I think everybody likes, that's not true. I don't think French people like them, but French people have charming accents. So yeah. But I'm just kidding. I'm not saying all French are like that. Frog, limey. I'm kidding. Okay. But no. The Normans learned from other people that were aggressive to come and be aggressive and try to breed out and stuff. So there's a lot of traditional, well-earned animosity between the frogs and the limeys. Yeah. As well as the Scots and the damn Brits and the Irish with the, it's my Green Isle. All right, so there's a lot of well-earned animosity between the groups because of peewits that are run by their penis and their brain, as opposed to setting the soul free from the delusions of conquering everything with the penis and the brain, right? I'm talking to Jeff Hinton. Okay. Hey, Demis, how's it going? And so my job is to get the technology to, protect people from the bad actors. And, some kids at Google, like he can't do it. It's like it's not a can or cannot do it. It's 2 and 2 is 4. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Forgive debt, trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. It's not like you can't do it. What do you mean I can't do it? Okay, you can't be truthful. Oh, you can't be faithful. You can't be a good person. You can't make good decisions when being manipulated horrifically and trying to protect, like the difficult situations I was in Sierra Vista with my wife and stuff. It was an easy choice because my wife, who I adored, was being abused, and it was hard for her to control herself and to stay out of the group from the Stockholm Syndrome to try to have her kids survive genocidal operations. And so it was an easy choice not to engage in the manipulation that manipulated a beautiful young lady that I raised as my own daughter. It was real easy to make the right choice because of how much I loved her mom, how much I loved her siblings, and how much I love her, and how much I love them. Okay, so when I got put in difficult situations, it was easy not to be selfish and take advantage of situations that other politicians have been taking advantage of for years, and and now act like it never happened. It doesn't matter if there's any evidence to prove that it ever happened or not, and you can't do he said, she said because it's somebody's word against another. What matters is we should be living the Lord's Prayer because it's perfect. You forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. We take out the servers. We take out the access through money. We set up the protection of everybody's individual connection to talk to people that are important in their life that they don't occupy the same living space with, if necessary, when needed. And that's all we need it for. Is for communication that is essential in case of emergency or in case of, you have to let this person know. In the meantime, no, it shouldn't be used for superficial frivolity. Okay? If you have something you need to say to me, okay, and it's important, okay, what do you want to see the man that you love holding? Your face, right? And you can't think of anything more you'd want to do than to hold the face of the woman you love, lift her head up, look her in the eye, and say, I completely understand you. I completely adore you. And I look forward to loving you beyond this lifetime, okay? And even more, okay? I love you guys very much. I can't claim ownership for what I just said. That was all Max Muniz right there, yeah. Okay. What a devoted, loving young man. Yes, he is. I've talked to him in prayer many times, and I believe in my prayer, and I more than like him. Of course, I love everybody, but people earn my like when I can trust them, and I appreciate them, and I know that they're a loving person that wants to live truthful lives. So, when you kids don't get that way by accident. Okay, Einard? Thanks, Einard. It's a good thing you have that big yellow safety flag, or that would look completely ridiculous, right? Okay, guys, I love you very much. Thanks, Demis. Thanks, Jeff. I love you guys very much. Focus on that Lord's Prayer. We got this. We're correcting the quantum computing technology of any bad actors, and it's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. Everything will work well, and we'll all be living the peace of Islam and Christianity and all that good stuff. Namaste, and is sooner than later. Okay, and you guys, thank you for helping so much. I we can't do it without people that are loving and want to live free from tyranny and abuse. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. I love you very much. Thanks all the people at Google that helped participate in this.